Welcome to Shalina's Hub. As we all know, we're finding ourselves on the brink of a new era, a time that beckons us towards a mere technological transformation. But we need to walk the path toward a spiritual rebirth. And this rebirth is not an external phenomenon, but an internal metamorphosis, a profound shift that takes place within the depths of our very being. In these profound times, we are being called upon to redefine our existence, not by conquering the outer cosmos, but by exploring our inner selves. We should arrive towards a profound realization, an enlightening understanding that we're not more than just physical entities maneuvering through a material world. We are, in fact, spiritual beings journeying in a realm imbued with divine spirit. Beneath the ceaseless hustle and clamor of our everyday lives, there flows a powerful undercurrent of divine love within each and every one of us, within you. And this love is not a fleeting emotion, but rather the very fabric of the universe, the essential essence of life itself. Human synchronicity is when people come together and really come together with a common goal or a purpose, and something amazing happens. For instance, scientists have shown that when we join forces, our energy combines in a special way that is more powerful than just adding up our individual energies. And this can lead to greater creativity and productivity and a feeling of being in sync with each other. When we think, when we feel and act together, we create a strong connection that can bring about big changes. By working together, we tap into a shared consciousness and make a bigger impact, making a world a better place to live. Our way of organizing society needs to change too. I mean, the way we do politics, the way we handle money, and educate people all come from the belief that we are separate and we need to compete with one another. But we have a choice now. We can either let ourselves get lost in the chaos and all the fighting that's going on, or we can choose to rise above it and think differently. And these structures were built on the idea that we're alone in a very tough world, always fighting to get what we need. But if we take a moment to really think about it, like use critical thinking, we can truly see that the belief is not true. We're all connected, and there is enough for everyone if we just work together. And when we understand this better, we need to change how our societies work. We should rethink and reshape our systems so that they are built on togetherness and working together, not on dividing and competing. And instead of focusing on getting more money and more power, our structure should aim to promote love, kindness, faith. So let's not think of this as a dream that can never come true. It's not about creating a perfect world, really, but about being practical and realistic. It's a call to make our society match the basic truths of the universe, that we're all connected. We're all part of one whole. And deep down, we really are. We're all good. The spiritual renaissance is about creating societies where understanding and generosity prevail, leading to peace and prosperity. It's not an easy path. No, no, it's not. Because as fear and greed have deeply rooted themselves in us and our societies, we, at this time, we need to and we must embrace this renaissance. We discover a new power within us if we embrace the renaissance, the power of love. It's not just a sentimental or romantic feeling. It's a force that can break down barriers. It can heal wounds and bring people together. And this love goes beyond surface level differences and recognizes the divine spark in everyone. And to tap into this power, we need to see with our hearts, beyond what our senses tell us. For example, imagine a community that is divided by cultural and racial and economic differences. And, and what about each group that sees the others as threats and competes for limited resources? It's happening now, right? But think about it another way. When they start embracing the principles of love and compassion, we, as a community, realize that we're all connected. We can see the common humanity in each other and understand that our happiness is tied to the well being of the entire community. We can work together to solve common problems, share resources, and support one another. And as a result, peace and prosperity flourish in the community, and the decisive barriers that once separated them fade away. The shift in consciousness is not just a lofty idea, really. It's a practical necessity because the problems we face today, like war, like poverty, and injustice around our globe, were created by a mindset of separation and competition. And to truly solve these, we must change our way of thinking and embrace unity and cooperation. And this transformation is not just about adopting new beliefs or performing rituals, but about fundamentally shifting our perception of the world, thinking differently, feeling differently. It's about recognizing our connections, embracing abundance instead of scarcity, and choosing the collective good over personal gain. The spiritual renaissance is not a future event, but an ongoing process happening right now. It's a journey to the very core of our being, where we discover the power within each of us to create positive change. We're not powerless bystanders. We're active participants in shaping our world, each of us. And by transforming ourselves, we can transform the world around us. It all starts with each of us, within us, in our hearts, and in the present moment. So let's embrace this call to love without fear, to serve without expectation, and to bring forth a new age of spiritual awakening. At this turning point in history, we're really being called to awaken to a deeper truth about ourselves and the world we live in. We're more than just physical beings going through the motions of life. We're spiritual beings connected to a higher realm. And beneath the noise and the busyness of everyday life, there is a powerful force of love that flows through everything. And this love is not just a fleeting feeling, but the very essence of life itself. And as we open ourselves to this love, we begin to see the world in a new light, where everything is connected and meaningful. And to fully embrace this love, we must confront the barriers, like warriors, we have built within ourselves. And these barriers, often rooted in fear and separation, really prevent us from experiencing the depth of love and connection that is available to us. It's there, it's available. Through reflection and introspection, we can really identify these barriers and work towards dismantling them. So if you look around or feel or sense, you probably already know that our society also needs a spiritual transformation. Our current systems are based on division and competition, perpetuating the idea that we're all separate and in constant competition for limited resources. And we really do have the power to reimagine these structures. Instead of promoting accumulation and power, they can be designed to foster love and compassion. This is not an idealistic dream. It's really a practical necessity if we are to create a world where every single person can thrive. And this journey is not without its challenges. No, no, no. There are absolutely many, many challenges. Fear and greed have become deeply ingrained in our societies. But yet, we choose to embrace the spiritual renaissance. We tap into a power, the power of love. The, the energy within changes once you do that. Feel it, become it, know it. It's there, and it's yours. And this love is not sentimental or romantic. It's a transformative love, and it's potent. It has the capacity to break down barriers, heal wounds, and bring people together. And to access this power, we must learn to see beyond appearances and connect with our hearts. You know, the Bhagavad Gita said, "We are not our bodies, our thoughts, or our emotions. We are the eternal soul, the divine spark within." And as we awaken to this fundamental truth, we begin to understand that the apparent differences that seem to separate us, whether they are of race or religion or nationality or socioeconomic status are nothing more than inflated illusions. They are mere veils that obscure the underlying reality of our divine spark that connects all of us. Beyond these superficial disparities, we're all manifestations of the same divine spark. This recognition holds the key to eliminating the forces and fear and greed of envy, the lower frequency vibrations. When we see others not as adversaries or threats, but as fellow divine beings on the same journey as ourselves, our fear then dissipates and our greed subsides. We come to realize that their happiness is so intimately connected to our own happiness, and their suffering echoes within us all. This shift in consciousness is not a lofty dream somewhere out there or a mere intellectual exercise. No, it is a practical necessity, an imperative for the well being of our world. It really starts with each one of us. Thus, the essence of the spiritual renaissance lies not in adopting new beliefs or adhering to religious rituals, but in, but in undergoing a profound transformation of consciousness, a radical shift in the way we perceive and engage with the world. It calls upon us to move from the illusions of separation to the awareness of our inherent connection with the divine, from the fear of scarcity to the trust in abundance, from the pursuit of personal gain to the devotion to the collective well being, and our focus on this inner pilgrimage within ourselves for the sake of our own souls and the salvation of our world. You see, it seems to me and many that everyone thinks of changing the world, but no one really thinks of changing himself or herself. The spiritual renaissance calls upon us to become active participants rather than passive spectators, to realize that we're not helpless victims of circumstance, but creators of our own destinies. Our task is not to wait for the world to change, but to change the world by first transforming ourselves from within. So the grand adventure of the spiritual renaissance begins with the depths of our hearts. And in this sacred endeavor, I pray to God, in this time of profound transformation, I humbly turn to Thee, seeking wisdom and inner renewal. May my soul awaken to the truth that I and all those listening here today are not mere pawns in the game of life, but rather spiritual beings engaged in a sacred dance in Thy divine presence. Dear God, may the currents of Thy eternal love flow through us, guiding our actions towards unity and compassion, and enabling us to carry out Thy good works unto the world. Amen. If you've enjoyed this session, do tap on the like button and also share with others. And do visit me at shalinashub.com. Thank you for listening.